Ladies, gentlemen, and all you who lie outside and in between, I hope you are ready for King Damian, or Damian King, against Team Phreakky in our, I believe, semi-final, or, sorry, no, this is the last of quarters. Our final quarterfinals match. And it looks like we might be starting on Bayside Bridge, but in order to get the game casted, I have two lovely faces to introduce you to. We got Whoopsie and Hunted. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Doing pretty good. You know, excited for this USA versus USA matchup. Let's go, USA. Someone's going to win over here. Am I right, Hunted?
Well, you know, maybe not. The refs sometimes seem to throw these games, but yeah, no. Ultimately, it's nice to see, you know, at least for us as American casters, nice to see the U.S. representation for sure.
Yeah, of course, always. I'm not too sure. Goose is like, I'm left out. You know, I'm Canadian.
Yeah, no, I'm just honking up here, man. But yeah, we are a quick reminder on how the set is going to be run. This is going to start out with a speed best of 3 speed set in which there will be a 4v4 speed mode battle, and then we're going to be moving over into a item match. So that means that there will be no blue boost, no building boosts, but instead there will be items and a different sort of gameplay loop. They're also scored differently. So for speed, each placement gets you points, which goes towards the winning one. Higher you get, the more points you get. You're trying to get as many people up in that high spot as possible. But with items, the only thing that you need to win is to make sure that one of your people crosses that finish line first. And in the chance that there is a tie, we are going to be breaking that with a 1v1 ace round with a randomized map and 2 players that the teams choose to represent them in a 1-to-1 head-to-head battle. So, starting out with the speed match, we're going to be kicking it off on Boom Hill Tunnel, moving over to Gold Rush, and then with Snowboard Slopes as the tiebreaker. What are you guys thinking about this?
I mean, it's pretty cool to see this format out here, to be honest with you, Goose. You know, the players actually getting a say as to what's going to be played for the speed maps, giving advantageous, you know, positioning for either team to kind of come back and force that round number 3. So Boom Hill Tunnel, Gold Rush, and Snowbound Slopes, maps that we have seen before out here. I think actually Boom Hill has been picked. It just hasn't been played on just yet. Hunted, what is your favorite map of the 3?
I mean, from what we saw out of Snowbound Slopes last time, it was pretty fun to watch, especially on the speed rounds, right? You know, with how fast that track is. I don't know. I'm interested to see how Boom Hill Tunnel works out. I mean, it is a pretty complicated track. I'm not terribly familiar with any of the shortcuts that are used and how they are used in coordination with the teams, but it is a fun map. It should be a fun map to watch, hopefully, here in the first round.
All right, something we haven't really talked about either. Me and Goose always talk about it as well. We have 4 mine carts if you're including the blue team over on the right-hand side as well. Mine carts, a lot of people were talking about just how important it is to have a mine cart out here because they said it's a lot more narrower in the front. On top of that, it does cause, people were saying it just feels like a little bit differently as far as the drifting goes, but it looks like it might be a little bit of correlation, like almost like the Octane in Rocket League.
Right. And I mean, we saw the big carts come out in the last series. They were used to pretty good effect in a speed round, you know, specifically to block for Morningstar for Team Smiley to really do his thing, and that is exactly what we saw. I mean, again, you mentioned it, battle of the Americans here. Although I don't think everybody in the lobby is necessarily, you know. American. We do have the Japanese name. That is Kate, by the way, for anybody who is unaware.
I was going to say that is Kate right there. One of the first female competitors I think we have here on today's map, or in today's bracket, I should say, as well. I think I'm not too sure, but Demand King as well, I think might be a female as well, but I'm not going to go ahead and solidify that just yet. But I know for sure that Kate is one of the first female competitors we have here. In first place right now, we have Blah. This is only a 1-lap track. I thought this was actually a 2-lap track, so this is going to be super, super crucial right here, Hunted.
Yeah, we're coming right down towards the end, and it's an all-team Phreakky looking final. That's, again, these shortcuts pretty intricate, but it's the top 2 spots occupied by the red squad. There was a respawn there from Stress. Can't quite
no
barricade, and I think this one certainly will go to Team Phreakky. Yeah, you see 1-2 on the board, 4th as well. And unfortunate for Stress. A little bit stressful for Stress trying to get over those boxes.
Yeah, that's just such a, like, if you missed your turn right there, especially going around that corner, you lose all sort of momentum and speed, and you just can't regain yourself, especially with no boost. So unfortunate situation right there. But on top of that, look at the points right now pouring out for Team Phreakky.
Well, hey, look. I really want to see Snowbound Slopes, so we'll just chalk that one up to a fluke. Okay, we're gonna see see the blue side battle back here in round number 2, and Gold Rush. Have we seen this in speed? I feel like we've seen this a couple times.
I think so.
The items, but I can't remember if. I mean, again, you've been here longer than I have today, so.
Yeah, the matches are starting to kind of like matches are starting to kind of like go together. But I think we have seen Gold Rush before. I want to think back to the first game, or at least I know for a fact for game number 2, I believe that was Team Suzuki who actually took that one for Gold Rush for speed last time. So I know that for sure. But I mean, hey, we're heading back to it. It's a good map. It's a pretty map as well. A lot of opportunities for drifts, a lot of opportunities to build up your drift as well. We didn't talk about, you know, the crucial blue drifts, the blue nitrous, my apologies, how much you have to kind of drift. You see these players already starting to get that, build up that momentum, that speed for the nitrous.
Right, and I mean, the interesting thing too about the blue nitrous is it being sort of like a team buff, right? So, you know, you build it together as a team. Everybody, assuming you have a red nitro, you know, it does turn into the blue. So interesting. I mean, it just adds to the strategy, and that's kind of what this game is, right? It's so deep, you know, when you dig into it and things like that. And I'm actually kind of surprised we are seeing pretty much all mine carts for this track.
A little bit of a mishap right there from Smib. It's going to go ahead and drift out of that 5th place spot, moving back down to 7th. This is right now through the portal. Stress is in first place, making up some very good time, and a mistake, a huge one from Fed, and then driving backwards, bumping their teammate as well.
I mean, Fed ended up getting bumped from an enemy. I'm not quite sure who it was. You see the battle right now. Again, Team Phreakky occupying 3 of the top 4 spots. Stress the only one there trying to slow down the top 2 there for Team Phreakky. And he's doing a decent job, but I mean, you saw that mistake, if you want to call it that, from Fed. I mean, that not only cost him, but also his teammate a little bit of time, and this is going to have to be a big push, and really, you don't see a lot of blue at the top of the board right now.
Yeah. Good positioning right now for Team Phreakky. A little bit of blue nitrous coming out as well. Itadori in first place spot had double nitrous boost. Stress trying to catch up, trying to play at least a little bit behind Itadori. This is going to be the final turn right now in the home stretch for Itadori. We're going to see if they can catch up to them as Stress in Kinaru. Not going to happen. Here comes the final 10 seconds now on the clock. It looks like Team Phreakky are going to have enough points to push past Team Demand King and solidify this game number 1 here.
Yeah, so another sweep we see happening here in the speed round. Is that surprising? I don't think so. I have a feeling we will see that maybe a couple more times. Although, you know, getting into the semifinals, I think things get a little bit closer. But I mean,
that was pretty close.
Seems to be. Well, I mean, they were. Not to say that the rounds aren't close, but you know, again, the sweeps in the speed round. I just think it's the items where all of the drama sort of happens.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that one, but like the speed round, I think is more skill based. You know, more skill driving, whereas the item round, which is up next, is pretty much more RNG based. But I mean, the total score from Team Phreakky was 21. The total score for Team Demand King was 18. So
Yeah.
a little
So
bit closer than we expected it to be, but at the same time, still enough to push past and get that first point there and move on to match point two in this best of three format. If you guys are just joining us right now, we do play speed and we do play item as well, and it's a 4v4 format. So basically, right now we just finished up the speed portion of it. That went to Team Phreakky. Now we're switching gears and going over to the item portion. And if you guys aren't familiar with some of the items out here, we have the spawn rates is to which when you pass over the item, what's the likability you're going to go ahead and get that item. Shield 55%. So majority of the time you're going to go ahead and have a shield in that first place spot, 25% for banana, and so on and so forth. But some of the most crucial ones that we always talk about time and time again, if you're new to Cartwright or Drift, is that Guardian Shield right there on the right hand side, that 5% chance all the way down to that 8th place spot. And the reason why that's so huge here, Hunted, is because of the fact that it gives you a team shield that prevents most of everything besides UFO.
And it lasts for quite a while too. I mean, it seems like it lasts forever when you're in the enemy team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Guardian Shield and the fact that you can sit at second and third and still have the same draw chance for those is pretty huge, right? I mean,
it's crazy.
I think there's a little bit of strategy that has to go into sort of, when do you sandbag, if you will, in this mode to kind of, obviously you don't want to drop too far back because even with some of the best items, you can't quite catch on. But, it's interesting. And I think that that's really cool. I didn't actually know about the different spawn rates until seeing that graphic. So I'm really, that's pretty awesome information for me.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people in Twitch chat too actually didn't know the spawn rates for it. I'm one of those people. I've only been playing this game for about a week now. Just it's a really, really fun game. So if you guys haven't played it, it's free. I'm pretty sure.
Is this in game? Can you find this in the game, or is this like outside information that we have?
No, I'm pretty sure it's outside information that production just got their hands on in the dirty little claws. And the competitive scene for this game, for Cartwriter is just phenomenal. The whole community essentially coming together and probably finding out these stats and stuff. But something interesting here in the rival circuit is we're introducing map bans and map picks. First one goes to Team Demand King, and they're going to choose Magma Caverns, a controversial map. A lot of people don't like this map, Hunted.
Yeah, for item mode, yeah, I've seen that opinion. As a commentator, I like drama. So anything that's dramatic or anything that the players typically don't like, I enjoy.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll make the most of it. And hey, maybe they have a strategy. I mean, obviously it was their first pick, right? So maybe they have a team strat on it that they're getting ready to unveil. And hey, if you're down 1-0, you lost the speed round, might as well, pull whatever rabbits out of various hats that you have.
I mean, I agree with you on that one. On top of that, Magma Cavern is just one of those maps where, it's just sheer pandemonium is the best way I can kind of describe it. It's so narrow, crazy things can happen to it on the map. If you get a barrier, for example, you can throw that down on one of those one lanes and you're almost automatic to hit that every single time. And you can fall off of like the train car or the train tracks or whatever too into the lava, which forces a reset too, which you're going to see when we get to that map. A lot of players like to pick those big, bulky vehicles and try to crash their, opposition off into the lava as well to force that reset to give that much more space to that first place player.
So I would like to pose this question, and this is probably something that it's rather trivial, but I think it would be interesting if you could potentially group carts into certain
starting position?
into certain groups, right? Like a cart rider is a small, or not cart rider, but the mine cart is a small cart, right? And then you have like the Titan or the Brutus or those big large ones. And I don't know how many different hitboxes there are, but if you could have, like, if you could ban out one of the certain types of carts,
okay.
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Trying to say, yeah. Kind of
Just
like a
to
kind of
add the variety to it. So
that
like,
would be pretty cool. Yeah, like kind of like a like Rainbow Six, like they banned certain like champions or not champions, Rainbow Six
yeah.
champions. Listen to me. I was talking about League of Legends, and then I was talking about champions, and then I was talking about Rainbow Six, and I was talking about agents. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but yeah, that would be pretty cool, pretty interesting as well. But I mean, that kind of is like the beauty here as well. You can kind of pick whatever vehicle you kind of want to. They do have different hitboxes, I think, and on top of that, they definitely have different handling. Some players feel that way, and they do say that the bigger cars do have those bigger hitboxes to bump enemies and defend against stuff really, really well. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool too. Kind of see that.
Well, the only reason why I say group them into groups is because there's how many carts in this game, right? Like, you can have you ban out the Titan, and then okay, it's not the best cart, but you can bring in the Brutus instead, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I got you.
I don't know. I think that maybe it's not a worthwhile discussion. Just something that I think of, as we try to grow the game. And this format in particular, with the speed and the items and the ace, is also very popular in Korea.
Yeah.
Where a large player base, the largest player base comes from, and the best of the best pros play. So anyway, enough about that. We are starting the item portion of our matchup here, and a pretty big lead, and we're gonna see, here it is. Team Daman King, they picked this map, and they've got the top 3 spots already.
Yeah, on top of that, we didn't really see too many bumping and grinding going towards that first initial railroad tracks. So pretty much in first place. There goes somebody falling off the map though on the left side as we hopped on board. Yeah, that was stress once again. But yeah, we didn't really talk about pretty much the factor of you falling off in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another thing you got to think about, right? Especially with all the items flying, and especially if you hit one of those barricades, it can send you directly into the lava. As you see, Team Phreakky just hanging on to that top spot right now, and really not too many great items on the side of Daman King as they come towards the end of lap number 2. You see a couple of UFOs go out, but look, there's just nothing on the side. Couple of boosts, and that's it.
Yeah, but on top of that, Stress and Kinaru have been pretty much in first and second place the whole time, trading off UFO shots back to back. Now here comes Blah trying to overtake the first place spot. They are in second place right now, so all the items are going to be super huge. You see a couple of water bombs coming out too. Such a crazy sequence of events as they approach this first U-turn.
I thought I saw a water bomb go out, but it didn't look like it landed. That one, Will, that was huge for Team Daman King, and there, a missile landing. It's going to be Fed to lead the way. UFO comes out. He's going to drop the banana, eats that, and you see the 2 Guardian Shields right now. There goes. They use them both, though. They use both of them just then. They are coming to the finish, and that will do it. So, hey, you spam them both if you're Team Phreakky. Hope they last, and that's exactly what happens.
Exactly, so, especially when you're approaching that finish line, you kind of have to, because those Guardian Shields were clutch in that situation. A Thundercloud came out and basically protected Blank to solidify that first place spot right then and there. So that was huge right there for Team Phreakky.
Here we go. Potential sweep. Full sweep. Underway, but hey, I mean, it's unfortunate that their map pick didn't work out, but it was a pretty tight round all the way around. I just think this, at least from watching, from what I've seen so far of this game, and everybody here in the scene, it really seems like I don't know if the strategy is to hold some of the best items as long as possible, but it seems like there are players that get caught up, right, and they don't have anything towards the end.
I mean, I think that comes down to a lot of times people being grouped up and bunched up together. And the problem with that being is, you kind of miss some of those power ups as well. So you're trying to go on the same drift path as somebody else and try to catch up and make up some ground. And you end up getting stuck with nothing, no items whatsoever. Or like you said, you misuse some of those items too. So that's the strategy involved in it. And then the RNG aspect of which item you're going to get and how viable it's going to be with what position you're in is going to play a huge role into it too. So, I mean, it comes down to some really skilled driving, knowing the map, and then utilizing your item when you have utilize it at the right time is what I'm trying to say. But
Sure.
going into round 2 now, Clock Tower Crossing. I think this is a map I haven't seen just yet. It looks like there's a good jump over, so we could see a good magnet play, whip somebody at max speed, and pretty much push them forward a couple of spots.
And this is it's a short map as well, right? So it's very fast paced. You're not going to have a ton of time to make up for mistakes, things like that. And we'll have to see as we get started. Map number 2, Team Daman King. Backs against the wall here, a map away from elimination in the quarterfinals. As Team Phreakky, I wouldn't say they were dominant in the speed portion, but they did have quite a good couple of maps there. And now with the first win, as you can see already, some bumping, getting the elbows out for both sides to open things up early on. And again, with a map this short, really, I mean, as much as you can affect the opponents, the better.
Ooh, look at this jump right here from Canario. Huge pathing. And this is what we were talking about, utilizing what you have when you have it. They had the nitrous, they used it perfectly. They hopped over those 2 fountain paths, and they utilized this shortcut right here and pushed them over into that second, third place spot. Blah is in first place by themselves, but basically going to get hit with a beautifully timed water wisp, but it's going to push them back a couple spots.
And you just saw the lightning come out there, and a huge
barrier.
Well. What a nice combination. You get both. That's going to give Itadori a chance to catch on, and you see the top 2 spots going to be taken by Team Phreakky. We are still on lap number 2 as we approach the clock tower here. Some decent defensive items as well for Team Phreakky. They've put themselves in a really good position, as this shortcut can be a little hard to navigate, especially in some of those larger vehicles that you saw. Stress there, or rather that was Fed, who was having trouble getting through. Stress is the only one up front, and I think he just got TK'd.
Oh my gosh, that was so huge and so big. Blank and everybody else over here on the Team Phreakky team were in first, second, and third place, or fourth place too. But now there it is right there. They just took it. This is so close right now. Itadori needs to be careful with this one. Does pop that shield, does block one of those water wisps coming out as well. Final turn, a barrier with another shield, and there it is. What a huge shield play right there.
That was awesome. Again, I mean, you saw the defensive items. I mean, saving both of those shields for so long obviously worked out in Team Phreakky's favor. And there's the sweep. Is that the first true sweep we've seen today? I believe it. I believe it is.
I think so. I'm not too sure, but thinking back to that first game, Team France versus Team Beastie pretty much just dominated speed and item the whole entire time as well. But I know they pulled out a sweep as well, but I'm not sure if we've seen a dominating performance like that one from Team Phreakky just yet.
Well, it certainly was a good matchup either way, and you know, a couple of close maps. Unfortunately, for Team Daman King, they are going to have to say goodbye to us for now here in the quarterfinals. And we have our top 4. We are going to take a break here to get everything ready. I believe we are going to come back with the other side of the bracket, so we're going to get a chance to see Team Beastie again, things like that. But yeah, folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back here in just a few moments for more Kart Rider.